Amen. 10:03 at 560 WQM. Guess what? We're here today.
Oh!
That's the good news. The even better news is we're playing the rack, even more so than yesterday. Although I will say this, because Joe says, well, you really ought to talk about John Rocker today. No, seriously, and I'm going to shock you when I tell you this, because I just reread this stuff, and Hank Aaron is all pissed off, and this one said this, and Bud Selig said, what did Bud Selig say, by the way? Yeah, that's what he always says. 15 activists showed up outside Turner Field in Atlanta yesterday. 15, count them. I guess it wouldn't take long. Well, it's not much of like an activist town, you know. It's Schwarzers and rednecks. But, you know, I'm going to say something that might actually shock you. And that is, who cares? I mean, what difference does it make if that's his opinion? If he's a bigoted moron, does that make him different from most jocks?
No.
No. It's just the fact that he's dumb enough to say it in public. But so why should he be penalized for it? Can't you give your opinion, even if it's an ugly one and most people don't like it? And then if he goes to New York and happens to play against the Mets and pitch in that game, and they want to hit him with a few bottles and batteries and stuff, that's his problem, you know. Why is that thing beeping back here now, by the way? Didn't I put the paper in right? The goddamn fax machine is beeping. God damn it, it's Christmas, you idiots. What are you beeping back here? Yeah, it's not supposed to beep on Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever the hell. Ah, Jesus Christ. What's wrong with you? Oh, there it is. It wasn't jammed in far enough. There's nothing worse when you don't jam it in far enough. There you go. Listen to that purring sound of those faxes coming in. No, seriously, doesn't he have First Amendment rights just because he's a goddamn Major League Baseball player? You would think so. Granted, most of his comments were repugnant and grotesque, but I'm sure that we have plenty of people in this audience listening to me right now who say, attaboy, John, right on, baby. All them foreigners and faggots, anybody with an F. Foreigners, faggots, and what else with an F? Yeah, is them too, yeah. So that's my humble opinion on that. It's just another big hullabaloo. See, it's okay to go out and murder somebody or to break in somebody's bedroom window at 5:30 in the morning, and you'll have all kinds of people apologizing for it. That's okay. But if you happen to see, words are bad. Words are evil. Your acts, that doesn't count. If you happen to be an ass murderer and slice two people's necks open, that's okay, as long as you can play a good round of golf. And why are these people calling here? Are they that stupid that they don't realize we're not taking their calls? Yeah. God, no, don't do that to yourself, please. It's the day before Christmas. Joe's starting to put the headset on. No, don't do that. We're not taking any calls, okay? In fact, today marks the end of 2 weeks in a row with no calls. Oh! You may have heard one or two calls on the show, but that was on tape. What day was it? Was it Wednesday that we had the tape from 10 to 10:30? Whatever day that was, before that stupid basketball game?
Tuesday.
Whatever day it was. And there was one idiotic call on there. And by the way, I'm glad that we got that call on there because that is all the more reason not to take calls. That good Christian, he's not a Catholic and he's not a Protestant, but a real pedantic-sounding old asshole. Yeah, so I say, John Rocker, I may not like what you say. Well, isn't that what they're always putting in the paper there? I may not like what you say, but I'll defend to my death your right to say it, even if you're an obnoxious, bigoted asshole and you pissed a lot of people off. Isn't that what they're always saying?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Who said that? I think Marge Schott said that. Somebody like that. What's wrong with that? Is that an unacceptable opinion? The fact that he's got a right to say it, and then right away, well, what should the penalty be? What should the punishment be? Punishment for what? Expressing obnoxious opinions? I say a lot of things on this show that some people out there find obnoxious. Should I be penalized for it?
No.
No, I should get a big fat paycheck twice a month, and I do, thank you. You're welcome. So anyway, now we get to the pièce de résistance, whatever the hell that means, the piece of crap. And here is, speaking of piece of crap, here's Michael May in the Sun Sentinel. Well, this must have been Friday's because I got this paper. And this, no, it couldn't have been Friday. I don't know what, oh, that's right, I went out and bought it. Excuse me, I went out and actually bought it with my own. So in other words, I was double dipping. I had to pay twice for the Sun Sentinel, which today I just said,
no,
screw it, it's not worth it. Punishment okay for Brown, but not for Rocker. And this part about John Rocker, I'm probably the first person in America, maybe Mike Francesa got wind of it because somebody heard my show on the Internet. I'll take all the credit for it in this case. Because naturally, once again, the media, they want to tell you how you're supposed to be indignant and very outraged about certain things. Like I said, all the kids getting killed in school, all these people getting blown away here in town. Don't get too upset about that. Don't infringe on those gun lovers' rights. But if somebody says something, like when Jesse Ventura opened up a mouth and said the truth, right away everybody turned on him like a cornered rat. When he said religion was a crutch for weak-minded people. Right on target, baby. Right on, sweetheart. Never could have said it better myself. And his approval rating went in the toilet with that cigar. That's right. Because this is America, where you have an awful lot of emotional cripples out there who can't handle the truth. So Michael Mayo writes, Mike Mayo, I'm not going to hold my breath any more than I'm waiting for that apology to Dave Halberstam that you absolutely... Did anybody see that over the holidays in the Sun
No.
Maybe it's in there today, on the one day out of the year that I don't get the paper. Maybe today's the day that Mike Mayo apologized to Dave Halberstam.
He hit it! Oh, my baby did it! He did it! He did it! Oh!
Anyway, so I'm waiting for all these sports nerds at both newspapers to admit that they steal half of their material, or maybe more than that, from me. So many days I've gone home, picked up the newspaper the next morning, and seen a column that was like verbatim what I said on the air the day before. It says, Orlando Brown is suspended indefinitely from the NFL, even as he sits in a hospital with blurred vision, because he retaliated, well, he's out now, by the way, because he retaliated against the referee who threw a BB-weighted penalty flag into his right eye. Meanwhile, Major League Baseball has done nothing in response to the unprovoked, ignorant, hate-filled comments made by Atlanta Braves relief pitcher John Rocker. Is something wrong with this picture? Maybe, but then again, maybe not, says the very definitive Michael Mayo. First, the Brown case. Brown is the Cleveland Browns offensive lineman who got pegged in the eye Sunday by referee Jeff Triplett. Brown, 6'7" and 350 pounds, responded by shoving the 200-pound Triplett to the ground with both hands. Enraged and in pain, Brown had to be restrained by teammates before leaving the field. Brown was ejected and promptly vilified as a perpetrator of the worst sports assault since Latrell Sprewell, latrine. The NFL, invoking the sanctity and law and order of its officials, suspended Brown for the remainder of the season and possibly part of the next. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue had scheduled a hearing with Brown in February. Certainly, Brown deserves to be disciplined for his loss of control, but the overlooked question, what about Triplett? Doesn't he deserve some sort of sanction for damaging a player's eyesight?
No.
He'll be back to work this week as if nothing had happened.
No.
Triplett and the NFL were quick to say it was an accident, but it's an accident that shouldn't happen. Nobody knew that 3-ounce flags could be such weapons, but if officials didn't hurl them like darts at players, nobody would get hurt. Oh, come on, Michael, this part of the article is a joke. Yeah, let's punish the referee because the flag accidentally hit this big Schwarzer in the eye, okay? You idiot. Let's forget about this part. Now let's get to John Rocker, okay? It says, as for Rocker, he did something hard to imagine this week. He made the Atlanta Braves miss Mark Wohlers. Because as bad as Wohlers pitched when he suddenly and mysteriously couldn't find the plate, he never lost control like this. Rocker revealed himself to be a bigot, homophobe, and xenophobe in comments published by Sports Illustrated, an embarrassment to his team, his sport, and his species. He said he'd never play in New York because he didn't want to ride a subway train next to some queer with AIDS. He said, I'm not a very big fan of foreigners. How the hell did they get in this country? He called a black teammate a fat monkey. He disparaged the driving ability of Asian women. A day after the article appeared, Rocker attempted damage control with a ghost-written apology, saying he got carried away by competitive zeal against Met fans. Like that explains it. Now the predictable backlash has begun. Fire him, suspend him, reprimand him, the course of the politically correct shout. But painful as it is to say, here's what should happen to Rocker. Nothing. There you go, Mike.
Ow!
Finally, if you write enough crap, sooner or later, some of it starts making sense. It shouldn't be baseball's place to take action against a player for comments made to a reporter. It's called free speech, and even though the First Amendment only applies to matters involving individuals and the government, private employers can regulate employees any way they see fit. This really isn't baseball's business. If Rocker hurled racial epithets at fans during a game, then it would be. Baseball has set bad precedent in this area, suspending Marge Schott for offensive comments she made when she was Reds owner, and Al Campanis ended up paying with his job as Dodgers general manager when he said on national television that blacks lack the necessities to be managers or executives. But those were people in leadership positions who should have known better. Rocker's just a redneck lunkhead who can throw 98 miles an hour. And now he'll have to live with the repercussions of his remarks. This will be the best punishment. Imagine the icy reception from all his foreign-born teammates when he arrives at spring training. Imagine his next appearance at Chase Stadium. Who needs fines and suspensions when just desserts like these await? There you go, Mike Mayo. The first half of the article is ridiculous, but the second half stolen directly from what I said on this show on Friday. Right on.